Hello, my name is Jayden, and today we're going to be focusing on the topic of the United States histories, reservoir, and dams. Given that there's an estimated 500,000 or more dams in the United States, we're only going to be covering a smaller number of the few, encompassing the political, historical context of the technologies, the historical cultural needs it was intended to solve, and some of the lasting impacts this technology has had today or what's changed and stayed the same. Starting off with the oldest known dam in America, being documented in 1640, the Old Oaken Bucket Pond Dam is officially recognized by the National Inventory of Dams, a subdivision within the United States Army Corps of Engineers, as being the oldest, quote, dam in America. The history of federal involvement in dam construction goes back to at least the 1820s, where the USACE was tasked with building wing-style dams along the Ohio River to improve navigation. It starts to get more interesting, however, in 1902, when Congress officially established the Bureau of Reclamation, which works alongside the hydropower industry, different conversation groups, tribes, and other affiliated government agencies to find common ground on how to manage the country's dam infrastructure. Right after 1905, when this law was passed, the Theodore Roosevelt Dam was constructed to halt the wayward flow of salt water to irrigate the harsh Arizona desert, allowing this area to be more amenable to farming, and the results of which are still seen today. Secondly, one of the more notable crises-related dams would be that of the Oroville Dam in California, which was initially created to offer clean drinking water, water-based recreational activities, and hydroelectric power. However, when it failed in 2017, a rough 188,000 people were displaced and evacuated to nearby areas, with some significant loss of life being estimated but not reported. Um, this meant that many of the surrounding buildings in the area were completely submerged, demolished, or destroyed, and the reconstruction of the dam has officially been complete, but it's scary to think the least that this is the displacement of water we're working with. One of the last, probably more notable dams in our country's history would be that of the Grand Coulee Dam located in Washington, where a rough 21 billion kilowatt of hours of electricity is produced annually, creating the most hydroelectric power out of any dam within the United States today. It also exists now as a barrier between livable housing and, much like the Oroville Dam in California, were it to fail, would again result in a likely loss of death due to flooding. The main notable impact that this technology has had on our culture is strictly seen in infrastructural benefits. Dams do provide economic, environmental, and social benefits, including river navigation, water supply, flood control, and recreation. However, they stand as a staple to human engineering and what we can do as a society. Out of this roughly 500,000 dams in the United States and the four ones mentioned here, only 20 to 30% of the dams documented currently serve a purpose such as flood control, irrigation, or hydropower. Many of these other dams are abandoned or outdated, and through a process known as the Uncommon Dialogue, the Bureau of Reclamation uh, works with these tribes and conservation groups called the three R's, the removal, rehabilitation, or rectification of dams. Ways are found to circumvent the United States Army Corps of Engineers' 17% estimated high hazard potential, where it's designated that a likely loss of human life is present were these dams to fail. And so ideally, while it would be wise to say that everyone works together on this, it's a more bureaucratified way where people are incentivized to consensually give up their ownership of their dams and retrofit them to a better served purpose, be that the destruction of, or in many cases the hydrification or rehabilitation of the dam to its original state. A lot of dams to go through in the US. Again, 500,000 dams, and only 20 to 30% of these actually serve a purpose. So there you go.